Hello friends. Today I want to talk about a very important astrological concept called Desh, Kaal, Patra. This is very important because a lot of people ask me, so if two people are born at the same time and they have the same astrological charts, they are born at the same place, will you give them the same astrological reading? So this happened very recently, few days back, that I was once again looking at the charts of twins. I was looking at the charts of sisters who were born within 4 minutes of each other. So the natal chart was the same. A lot of the time periods were also quite similar and so on. But did I give them the same astrological reading? The answer is no. Because every soul, every form that comes into this universe will have a different experience, even though the blueprint which astrology suggests might be the same. The experience can be completely different playing within that blueprint. So that's why I want to explain to you this ancient concept in astrology called as Desh, Kaal, Patra. Desh means the place, the context of the location where you are born and where you live. So if a child is born in India and raised in America, he's going to have a completely different experience than a child who is born in India and raised in India. A child born in India and raised in a small town will have a different experience from a child born in India and raised in a big city. So this is very obvious that things are going to be different for these two kind of people who are having the same astrological chart. Now, Kaal is the second context, the era, the period in which you are born. Suppose someone is born in the industrial era, somebody is born at the time of the World War. They are going to have a different experience. Even though they may have the same astrological charts, they may have a different experience from someone who is born in the era of the internet, someone who is born in the era of technology, of sustainable environment, and so on. And the last aspect is Patra, also called as paristhiti. So the situation, the form, the situation in which you are born. So if you are born in a situation where your parents are very poor or your parents are very rich. So people are going to have, who are having the same astrological chart, who are born in the same hospital next to each other, will have different manifestations of their destiny. Even though basic blueprint is the same, the possibilities are multiple. And hence, the astrologer has to take into account Desh, Kaal, Patra. He has to take into account the context of the location. He has to take into account the context of the culture in which the person is born. He has to take into account the financial situation, the dynamics of the family in which the client is born, and so on. So these things are very, 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 very important. And many a times people say, okay, give me a reading. I want to have a reading. Send it to me on email. And I say, no, I have to meet you. I have to talk to you. And they get puzzled. They say, oh, you're an astrologer. So why do you have to meet me to do a reading? But they don't realize that astrology is about Desh, Kaal, Patra. It's about context. It works within a context. And you're playing within a context which is given to you. For example, yesterday I was talking to a girl in a village, and she lives in a village where there may be just 50 or 60 people living in that village. And she's studying, she wants to learn. Her parents want her to get educated, so she's studying the arts and so on. But someone in the same village could be, in her situation, could be very much trained to be very domestic, to look after the farms, to look after the cattle, and there is no education given. But because her parents work with a lot of travelers, they work with tourists coming to that village, they are aware of the importance of education. So it so happens that in different contexts, people think differently. In different contexts, even though people can have the same astrological charts, same birth date, same birth time, same birthplace, their lives can pan out very differently. Their lives can pan out in a very, very different fashion, though the basic blueprint will still apply to them. The basic blueprint will still determine how things pan out for them in terms of the circumstances that they face. But the choices that they make are going to be different. And the choices come from your conditioning. And the conditioning is different for everyone, even if they are born in the same family. So let's keep some of these pointers in mind when we go for astrological readings. Let's not get into complete generic stuff where we are kind of, expecting the astrologer to guess everything and tell everything. Well, that can happen if the astrologer is a psychic, has a great intuition. It can happen a bit, but still one needs to consider your context, your personal choices, your personal conditioning which has been in place since your childhood. With this, I would like you to look into this in more detail, contemplate over this. Cheers. Have a nice day ahead.